welcome to the series, guys. So today's we are going to start our module number 3 from Java. So module number 3 already completed. This is module number 4 and this is our first topic from module number 4, that is conditional statements. So let's see, guys, what is conditional statements in Java. Conditional statements are nothing but are used to make decisions in your program. They allow your Java programs to execute different blocks of code based on your given conditions. If you want to execute the block of code in Java on your conditions, then you need to use the conditional statements in Java. In simple words, we can say, guys, if a condition is true, then execute a block, else if the condition is false, then you can execute otherwise another block. Okay, so there are some types of conditional statements in Java. First is that is if statement, second is if else statement, third is if else if ladder, fourth is nested if, and next that is switch statement. So let's see first what is if statement. If statements are nothing but used to execute a block of code only when the condition is true. Here the block of code only one. If the condition given in the parenthesis is true, then the block of code will be executed. If the condition becomes false, then it does not show any output on your console. Okay, this is the example. Next, as you can see here, if the condition is false, nothing happens. Okay, next is if else statements in Java. It is used when you want to execute one block if the condition is true and another block if it is false. It means that if the condition given with if block, if it is true, then the block will be executed, relative block will be executed, and if it is false, then the else block will be executed. Okay, this is the example. Next, third is if else if ladder in Java. So what is if else if ladder? If you have the conditions, one or more conditions, then you must use this if else if ladder statement in Java. This is the syntax. If your first condition becomes true, then else if block and else will be ignored by Java compiler, and if this if block will become false, then Java compiler will comes to this statement and checks this second condition, and if also this condition will be false, then it will execute the else block by default. Okay, so next, this is an example of if else if block. Only one condition will be executes, otherwise else if, and what is the other conditions will be ignored by the compiler. Next, that is a nested if statements in Java. So what is nested if? Nested if means an if statement inside another if statements. Means one or more if, or one or more if or if else if are there in a nested form. Okay, is known as nested if. This is the example for nested if, where you can see here this is the first if block, and under this block this is the second if block. Okay, it is used when multiple dependent conditions are required. It means that if your main condition are depend on any other condition, then you can, if your main condition is depend on any other condition, then you can use this nested if block. Okay, next, that is the switch statements in Java. So the definition for switch statement is it is used to compare one variable with multiple fixed values. Means the values given with this case keyword are fixed, but it is performing the operation on only one variable, that we called it as a expression in Java. Okay, and this is the example for switch statement. It use the break statement to stop the execution, and default runs no case matches. Okay, if no case matches, the default statement will be run. As we can see in if else case, if block is not executed, then by default the else block will be executed. Okay, also in the case of if else if also. Okay, if any condition becomes, if any condition are not true, then by default the else block will be executed in that case. Okay, next, key points are condition always returns true or false. Yes, we always know that the condition always returns true or false. We also see in the operators case also. Okay, uses relational and logical operators, yes, of course. And a switch does not work with conditions like greater than or less than, because switch only works on the fixed values. Okay, if the values matches with the variable value, then only the statement will be executed, or we can say the block will execute it. Always use parenthesis for clarity. That is the best practice. Yes, we know that in Java always use the parenthesis after for a block. By default, for executing a single statement in your block, the parentheses are not required, but for the best practice they says that always use the parenthesis. Okay, so this is all about today's topic. To get more such videos, subscribe to my channel. Thank you and have a nice day, guys. Bye.